Miss Baker and Gavin, and we're back to read Chapter 2 of Freckle Juice. All right, is everybody ready? Okay, here we go. That night, Andrew had trouble sleeping. He kept thinking about Freckle Juice. Maybe the reason no one in his family had freckles was because no one knew the secret recipe. If they never even heard of Freckle Juice, then how could they have freckles? I figured, right? Andrew didn't like the idea of paying Sharon for anything, and 50 cents was a lot of money. It was 5 whole weeks of allowance, but he decided that if Sharon's recipe didn't work, he asked for his money back. It was that easy. The next morning, Andrew turned the combination on his safe bank to the correct numbers. 4 on top, 0 on bottom. He took out 5 dimes. He wrapped them in a tissue, stuffed the whole thing in his pocket. He didn't have time to wash behind his ears or his neck or anything. He wanted to see Sharon before the last bell rang. "Bye, Mom," Andrew called. "Andrew, Marcus, wait a minute." His mom hurried over to him. She almost tripped on her long bathrobe. The curlers still in her hair, they scratched Andrew's face as she checked his ears and neck. "Please, Mom, can't we skip it just this once?" Andrew begged. Oh, Miss Marcus stepped away from Andrew and she pointed her finger at him. "Okay," she said. "I'll let you go this time, but tomorrow I'm looking again, and Andrew, zip up your pants." Andrew looked down. Zippers were such a pain. "This afternoon, when you come home, I'll be next door with Miss Burrows, invited me over to play some cards. You come get the key for me, okay?" "Sure, Mom, okay." Andrew raced to the school. He could hardly wait to see the secret recipe. First, he'd look at it. If it didn't look good enough, he wouldn't even pay. Sharon was already at her desk when Andrew arrived. He went right over to her. "Did you bring it?" he asked. "Bring what?" Sharon opened her eyes really wide. "You know what? The secret recipe for Freckle Juice." "Oh, that. Yeah, I have that. Right here." Sharon patted her pocket. "Well, let's see it." "Do you have my 50 cents? Sharon asked. "Sure, right here." Andrew patted his pocket. "I'm not going to show you until you pay me." Andrew shook his head. "Oh, no. First, I want to see it." "Sorry, Andrew, a deal's a deal." Sharon opened her book and pretended to read. "Andrew Marcus," Miss Kelly said, "will you please sit down? The second bell just rang, and this morning we'll begin with arithmetic. Nikki, will you pass out the yellow paper? When you get your paper, begin working on the problems on the board." Andrew went to his seat. Then he took the tissue of 5 dimes out of his pocket, held it near the floor, and aimed it toward Sharon. She sat in the next row. Sharon stuck out her foot, stepped on the tissue, and slid it over until she could reach it with her hand. She bent down and she picked it up. Miss Kelly didn't even notice. Sharon counted the 5 dimes. Then she took the piece of paper, folded it up out of her pocket, and threw it at Andrew. It landed in the middle of the aisle. Andrew leaned way over to pick it up, but he lost his balance and fell out of his chair. Everyone laughed, except Andrew and Miss Kelly. Miss Kelly sighed. "Oh, Andrew, what are you up to now? Bring me that note, please." Andrew picked up the secret recipe. He didn't even have a chance to see it. It wasn't fair. It cost him 50 cents for nothing. He handed it to Miss Kelly, and she read it. Then she looked at him. "Andrew, you may have this back at 3 o'clock. She put it on her desk. "I don't want this to happen again. Do you understand?" Yes, Miss Kelly." Andrew mumbled. Good. Now let's get that arithmetic done. Miss Kelly wasn't bad, Andrew decided. She could have ripped up the recipe or sent him to the principal's office, or even made him stand outside in the hall by himself. Andrew could hardly wait for 3 o'clock to come. He didn't bother counting Nicky Lane's freckles. Soon he'd have his own. When the second bell finally rang, the class marched down the hall and Andrew went up to Miss Kelly. She held out the sheet of white paper and waved it to him. Here's your note, Andrew. I have a feeling it's important to you, but now you must pay attention in class. Andrew took the recipe from Miss Kelly. After tomorrow, I won't have any trouble paying attention, he promised. Just you wait, Miss Kelly. I won't have any trouble at all. All right, everyone, that's the end of chapter 2. Okay, so I'll see you back for chapter 3. Bye.
Bye.